The reason you feel invisible, exhausted, and quietly resentful isn't because you were too kind. It's because your brain has convinced you that self-erasure equals goodness. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Have you ever noticed how the nicest people are often talked over, taken for granted, emotionally drained, and rarely chosen first? Meanwhile, the people who say less, who refuse more, who don't explain themselves, they're respected. That's not an accident. That's psychology. If you constantly put others first, if you avoid conflict to keep everyone happy, if you feel guilty for saying no, this harsh psychology fact is going to hurt. You're not being kind. You're training people to see you as powerless. And the most dangerous part? Your brain rewards this behavior. Every time you sacrifice yourself, your mind whispers, "Good job. You're a good person," but what it doesn't tell you is the cost. Lower confidence, weak boundaries, quiet anger, and a life that feels smaller than it should. Most people never realize this, but your brain has been lying to you about kindness. Because kindness without boundaries doesn't make you good. It makes you usable. And today we're exposing the 5 behaviors you've been taught are kind, but are secretly destroying your power, your respect, and your self-worth. This will make you uncomfortable. Good. That means it's working. Psychologists call this self-subjugation conditioning. And once you understand it, you'll see why you act the way you do. From childhood, many of us were rewarded for being quiet, agreeable, helpful, easy to manage. You were praised when you didn't cause problems. You were liked when you didn't say no. You were accepted when you made yourself smaller. Your brain learned a simple rule. If I keep others comfortable, I stay safe, and safety is the brain's top priority. Your relationships, your habits, even your confidence, all of it is influenced by this one psychological pattern. Here's where it gets dangerous. As an adult, your brain still runs that same script. So when someone disrespects your time, crosses your boundaries, or makes you uncomfortable, your nervous system doesn't say, "Protect yourself." It says, "Be kind." Don't cause tension. That's why you say yes when you want to say no, apologize when you did nothing wrong, over-explain simple decisions, feel responsible for emotions that aren't yours, and slowly, silently, you lose power. Not because people are evil, but because human beings subconsciously test boundaries. When your boundaries are weak, people don't think they're kind. They think they're safe to push. That's the conflict. You want to be kind, but your kindness is costing you respect. And your brain keeps defending the behavior because it feels familiar, comfortable, safe. But here's where it gets even worse. The more you give without limits, the more invisible you become. And most people stop here, and that's the biggest mistake, because they assume if I just give more, people will finally appreciate me. Psychology says the opposite. People don't value you based on how much you give. They value you based on what you're willing to withhold. Read that again. Your brain chooses comfort over self-respect every single time, unless you consciously interrupt it. That's why being too kind doesn't make people closer to you. It makes them careless with you. But here's the part nobody wants to admit. The reason your life hasn't changed yet is because these behaviors feel like morality. But they're actually fear responses. Let's break them down. 1. Always saying yes. This happens because your brain associates rejection with danger. When you say yes, your nervous system relaxes. No tension, no risk, no disapproval. But the reality is, every unnecessary yes tells people your time has no cost. Psychology doesn't reward availability. It rewards selectiveness. 2. Avoiding conflict. Your mind thinks conflict equals loss. But the reality is, avoided conflict turns into internal resentment. You don't keep the peace. You internalize the war. And people sense that weakness, even if they don't understand it consciously. 3. Over-explaining yourself. This happens because your brain seeks validation. You explain because you want approval. But confident people don't explain, they state. The more you justify, the less authority you project. 4. Taking responsibility for other people's feelings. Your brain does this to avoid guilt, but guilt is not a moral compass, it's a conditioning response. When you manage emotions that aren't yours, you train people to avoid managing themselves. 5. Giving without limits. Your mind thinks, if I give more, I'll be needed. But the reality is, people respect those who protect their energy. Unlimited kindness becomes self-neglect, and self-neglect is not virtue. It's fear disguised as goodness. If that hit you good, it means you needed it. Here's the truth you've been avoiding. You can be kind and powerful, but not at the same time, unless you have boundaries. If you want to break this cycle, start with intentional discomfort. Here's the mental trick that actually works. Before you say yes, ask, am I doing this out of choice or fear? If it's fear, pause, practice, saying no without explaining, letting others feel disappointed, allowing silence, choosing yourself without apologizing. Your brain will panic at first. That's normal. You're teaching it a new rule. I can be safe and respected. Kindness isn't weakness. Unprotected kindness is. And the moment you stop abandoning yourself, the world treats you differently.